one tear for all those who fly 1,000 tears, for all those who are witnessing the Imam right now, for all those who are feeling his presence right now. My condolences to Sayyidatun Nisa, our mother, on the martyrdom of her son. My condolences to the Imam of our time. According to narrations, for example, in Ziyad Nahya, it is said that he weeps. He weeps tears of blood. Tonight is that night that we all have been waiting for. Tonight is the night of Hussain. Brothers and sisters, tonight is also my last speech. And on behalf of the ulama, on behalf of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, thank you all for being here all 10 nights. For those of you who were able to attend, for those of you who attended virtually, for those of you who even cried for Imam Hussain alayhi salam, for upholding this movement. And I want to ask for forgiveness if I mentioned something. I still have today, of course, but in advance for the previous night and for tonight. If I said something that offended someone, if I had done something wrong, if I had given you an incorrect concept, or if I had unjustly propagated Islam. Brothers and sisters, there is a riwayah, very authentic narration from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. إن قتلة الحسين حرارة في قلوب المؤمنين. Indeed, إن قتلة الحسين حرارة في قلوب المؤمنين. Indeed, the murder of Hussain is a fire, is a anger in the hearts of the believers, and nothing will change it, nothing will move it. So if we are able to feel that fire, it's great. If not, we should question ourselves. Why aren't we feeling that pain? Is there something wrong with us from within? That we weren't able to shed one tear? And let's do tawassul tonight, brothers and sisters. That maybe one tear. That's enough, that's all we ask for, Ya Rabbi. Brothers and sisters, and I mentioned this before, I mentioned it and I'll mention it again. Tomorrow is Friday, tomorrow is also Ashura. Very significant time that we're living in. Some say that Imam the time will reappear on an Ashura, that is a Friday. I'm not saying that it will happen. Someone came to me after that and he said, "Are you sure about this?" I was like, "No, I'm not saying it's going to happen. All I'm saying is that we should be prepared if it happens." The advent of the Imam, the time is around the corner. If we haven't been able to do something in our lives to prepare ourselves for the last night, inshallah tonight is the night. Brothers and sisters, tonight is the night of Tasu'ah, the night of hope, the night of love. Is what happened tonight. Imam Hussain alayhi salam on the plains of Karbala, today was actually supposed to be the day he was going to be killed. That's what they planned out. But they planned, Allah planned. Imam Hussain asked them for one night. And it was tonight. So that he can read the Quran. So that he can pray to his beloved. Tonight was a night of intimacy that Hussain had with his beloved. And that is the reality we're facing. And that's why I selected the topic of love. Brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says, قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهُ. O Prophet, O Rasulullah, tell the people, if you love God, follow me. in the Quran. It's a shortcut to Allah. This is what I want to point out. You can go all your life through self-purification, through all these processes, muhasabah, muraqabah, musharata, all of these things. You can go and try establishing justice. You can go and try all of these things. You can try and stop yourself from committing sins by physically forcing yourself not to. Or there's a shortcut to achieve all of these things. And it will take you directly to Allah Himself. That is love. Brothers and sisters, there's a reason why love stories are the most prominent in history. All of a sudden, you see us reading books in ELA class, and then Romeo and Juliet shows up. Everyone gets interested. Right? There's a reason for it. There's a wisdom behind it. Why do you see that there are love novels everywhere, on every shelf, in every bookstore? Why has it become so prominent in the Islamic world and the non-Islamic world? Why is Ashura such a beautiful story? Why do we not connect with it? Because it's a story of love. Wherever love is mentioned, naturally the human being has an attraction to it, has a connection to it. And the reason for this is because philosophically speaking in the terms of the truth, the reason why we were created was because of love. Ask any philosopher, Muslim, non-Muslim, atheist, Jew, Christian, they'll tell you that love had some component in the creation of the human being. Muslims took it to an advanced level. Muslims said the reason why Allah created you in the first place was because He loved Himself. And then He loved His creation. That's why He provided you with sustenance. That's why from birth onwards, you were always under the care of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where He gave you all your needs. We discussed it in the topic of fitrah. فَإِذَا صَوَّيْتُهُ فَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي. That ruh that Allah gives the human while creating Himself is not any ordinary thing. He didn't give it to the rest of the creation. He gave it to the human being because of that special love and connection He had made with that being. Brothers and sisters, this love is fitrah within us. It's our nature. That is why you always see, after a certain age in high school, love. And then the parents get really upset because some girls start coming home. Right? It happens. Sometimes what happens is you get married. Why is marriage considered the turning point in one's life? Because it has to do with the love that is built. Why is having a child and having that affection between you and that child a turning point in one's life? Because that love, that affection changes one. All of a sudden you have a purpose in your life. Before marriage, you may have been depressed, you may have been anxious, you may have not known where to go in life. As soon as you got married, you saw that you had a purpose to live on for. You may be working for years on end, piling up a lot of money. Once you get married, you get a purpose for that work. I'm now working because I want to provide for my wife. Love gives a purpose to things. Allah could have created us. Just purposes. But that's not the creation of Allah. It has that component of love in it. Hence, it has a sense of affection to it. Hence, it has a sense of purpose to it. Brothers and sisters, when we're talking about love, it is a turning point in one's life. You start off by a marriage of love. You're born from that. Then after that, you feel the affection of your parents up to a certain age. You see children who don't get the affection of their parent. I feel bad for them. I really do. Because they have an essential component of their life missing. And then you get married. Those who single, I really feel bad for them because they don't have that sense of love or affection. They don't have that outlook for it. They don't have that place to put this out. And then you have a child. You feel affection to that child. And then you die. And you have a sense of love in that. Death is the affair of the heart. And we'll discuss this today, inshallah, in detail. Please recite Allah. Is my tone too low today? Should I increase it? If I should increase it, please recite one love salawat. Brothers and sisters, the love that we're talking about between a husband and wife, between a lover and his beloved, between a child and their father and their mother, is a love called figurative love, hub majazi. It's not hub haqiqi. It's not a real love. Why is that? Because the subject of love is a very temporal subject of love. It is a very mumkin. It's a very contingent subject of love. Sometimes you see someone falls in love and then loses that love. Why? Because that love is not real love. Real love cannot develop for a mumkin species. Brothers and sisters, the real love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with Allah. Is with Himself. So if you want to develop true love, a true connection with someone, you have to develop love with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But then you may ask, philosophers say Allah's love is innately in everyone, as I just said. Then why is it such that we find it very hard to love Allah? And why is it such that we fall in love with ourselves very easily, we fall in love with others very easily? It is because love of Allah is hidden behind everyone. Everything is a figurative love. The love I have for my wife is a figurative love. The love between brothers and sisters is a figurative love. That is only a small manifestation of the love of one with Allah. And it becomes a misidentification. I am identifying my primary love as you know. My primary love is Allah. Brothers and sisters, how do we develop this love with Allah? I'm going to give you, there's so much to discuss by the way about this. Again, give me a whole ashra and I'll just cover this topic of love. I'll mention one small point about this. Brothers and sisters, when we go through difficulties, when we go through hardships of life, when you think it hurts too much, brother, no one understands what I'm going through. That's when you develop love. You go to Allah for help at that moment. When you see that Allah comes and helps you at that moment. You ask Him, you cry to Him, you call on to Him, you put your trust in Him, and you see that He responds after some time, maybe not right away, but after some time, and then that love is developed. That connection is developed. Hence, in the case of difficulty, brothers and sisters, take the love of Allah. Go to Allah for refuge. That's why it's so emphasized. Always ask for Allah. Call on Him, He'll answer you. Brothers and sisters, I think we have discussed enough about love. I want to discuss the signs of love. How can we see love in our life? How can we find signs of love in our life? For this, I am going to mention 2 examples per sign. There are 8 signs, 2 examples per sign. One example of it is of hub haqiqi, the real love, and one example is the manifestation of that real love, hub majazi, ishq majazi. Brothers and sisters, to understand if you are in love or not, number 1 is obedience. The verse that I recited at the beginning. If you think that you love God, follow me. The first bare minimum is that you follow in a marriage or in a relationship between 2 lovers. The wife tells you to go get groceries. She gives you a list at the beginning of the day. You come back at the end of the day. At the beginning you said, Chash, I'll do it. At the end of the day you come back. Your wife asks you, where are the groceries? I forgot. Where is the rice? I forgot. Is that real love? Is that the strong connection of love? No. When the love is at its peak, when the love has manifested itself in its full potential, it is complete obedience and servitude. And that only happens with Allah. When you come to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we don't purposely sin. If you love Allah, you don't sin. Why? Because that natural connection is developed. My beloved is telling me not to sin, and I won't sin. My beloved is telling me such, hence I won't do it. Why? Because I'm in so much love with him, and nothing will lead me to his disobedience. Nothing can let me disobey him. Right? If you want to find true love in your life, that's the first sign. Follow whatever the beloved says. Brothers and sisters, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says, please recite with Ma ahabba Allah man asa. One who disobeys God. He has never loved God. That love that is developed, the first sign of it, the first alama of it is obedience. The second thing, the second sign of love, the second way to develop love. One who is in love always finds a way, finds a time, finds an opportunity to talk about his beloved. All of a sudden, one's getting married. Did you know she said this to me? Did you know she said that to me? Did you know she liked this picture of mine on Instagram? You know we had this conversation. You know she has these good qualities. You know he has these good qualities. You know he bought me these flowers. I got so excited. All of a sudden, their friends get tired of them. All you do is talk about him. All you do is talk about her. Come on, this never used to happen before you were going to get married. What happened? Similarly with Allah, brothers and sisters. Why was it such that the Imam, that the Ahlul Bayt, that the awliya of Allah, they always carried maslaha with them? I don't know. They always carried tasbih with him. They always did get their kareem of Allah. What was the significance of that? Some say Allah was going to Lady Masuma's Haram in home where he was studying. On the way there, he was praying Salat Nawaf. And my teacher went up to him, asked him a question. He wasn't paying attention. He was having that affair with his beloved. He was praying to his beloved. He always looked for an excuse to remember his beloved. Brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says, وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَشَدَّاءَ حُبَّ اللَّهِ. Those who believe, they have a lot of love for Allah. And in a separate ayah, Allah describes the believers as وَذَكَرُوا اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا. Those who love Allah, they remember Him constantly. They remember Him a lot. Not just, okay, I did my tasbih, I did my salah. No, they're constantly remembering Him. They're constantly finding an opportunity to talk to co-workers for a conversation. Oh, how's life? Life is great. You know why God says this? Always finding an opportunity to talk to God. Always trying to talk about Him. Brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا وعلى جنوبهم ويتفكرون في خلق السماوات والأرض. Those who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they remember Allah standing, sitting, lying down on their sides. You see someone who wants to go get married, someone who falls in love for the first time. Every time he turns around, he remembers his beloved. She comes to mind, he comes to mind. All of a sudden, all the things that come to his mind is his beloved. I cannot sleep, why she rejected me. I cannot eat, why she betrayed me. Oh, sign of love. Can you just say what Brothers and sisters, Imam Sadiq al-Islam advised Abu Basir, oh Abu Basir, you're in the bathroom, you hear the adhan, repeat the word of adhan. By the way, bathrooms not about doing wudu, no, it's while using the toilet. Abu Basir was shocked, yeah, Imam Sadiq. Really? In the bathroom? He was like, remember Allah everywhere. Brothers and sisters, we have du'as for the bathroom. We have du'as for while peeing. That's not something to be ashamed about either. Why? We remember Allah all the time. The prophets, why were they so dedicated to the mission of Allah? People would reject them. 900 years after no priest his message. He would always get an opportunity to mention his beloved. Third sign of love. He is heedless about others. He's having a conversation with his beloved, with his wife. He's in a very important business meeting, $1 million, $1 billion around line. All of a sudden, he sees his phone ringing. He looks at it. It's his wife's phone number. He calls it. Is that real love? No. The real lover, what he would do is he would pick up that phone. He would excuse himself from that meeting and answer it. That is real love. Brothers and sisters, you're talking to your beloved, the president of the country enters the room, you don't care. I'm talking to my beloved, the most famous celebrity enters the room, I don't care. I'm in salah with my beloved. Brothers and sisters, Imam Hussain, what a beautiful scholar he was. One day he was in Paris, right? He was exiled to Paris before the revolution, right? When he was there, the people around him worked very hard to schedule a public interview with a journalist. And this journalist was a very famous journalist, very well known. If she says something about someone, it is taken seriously. So they invited Imam Khomeini to their TV show. Imam Khomeini said, "First, you come to my house, I don't go to you." When they came to interview Imam Khomeini, the journalist, she was a female. He was like, "Firstly, if you don't wear hijab, you can't come into the house. Don't sit in front of me. I don't want to see you without hijab." She wore hijab. Then when the journalists came in, they had half an hour interview. They were having a very good conversation. All of a sudden, Imam Khomeini stood up and left. People were going after him. Ya Sayyidi, Sayyidina, where are you going? You have a world-famous interview. The whole world is watching you. It was like, don't you guys realize it is salah time? I want to have a conversation with my beloved. Sayyid, you can wait. It is important. This is your movement depends on the success of this interview. He's like, I don't care. Go read the reviews of that journalist. Positives. Only positives of him. No negative aspect of him was mentioned. Or maybe very few. Brothers and sisters, at this point it's important to acknowledge you cannot love two things at the same time. I cannot love God and also love the enemies of God. I cannot love God and also love any ordinary person. I love others because I love God. Please recite Allah's salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. I love God and I cannot love anyone. I cannot love everyone. Right? The love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is special. Your heart cannot have an affair. Important to remember that. Please just have us along the document just closed. So, brother, you're saying that I cannot love my wife. No, that's not what I'm saying. You love your wife for the sake of Allah. Right? That connection of love is built on the basis of God. Not on the basis of love. On the basis of God's love. The permanent love, and your love will last till Jannah. Your love will be eternal with your wife, with your partner. That is why it is so emphasized to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, brothers and sisters, and take this figurative love of yours to the realms of the love of Allah. Brothers and sisters, lovers have a different lifestyle. You're at work, you get a lunch break, you go and see your wife, you go and call your wife, you go and speak with her. Right? Rather than eating lunch with your coworker, you're speaking with your wife. For someone who goes to work, spends hours at work, comes home tired, is never too tired to talk to his wife. So he's working nights talking to his wife. To his lover, to his beloved. Why? Lovers have a different lifestyle. We at Muharram of Ahlul Bayt of Imam Hussain, we come here because we have a different lifestyle. You don't see the enemies of Ahlul Bayt sitting in these gatherings. They have a different lifestyle. Your lifestyle is according to your beloveds. Brothers and sisters, that is why you go to work, you're anxious, you get to night. I want night to come in. I pray salah, I take a break at work, I don't eat lunch until I go work, and I pray salah. And then I go, and then night comes. Ooh, I'm alone with my beloved. No one else is there. I spend my night worshiping. Spend my night reading salah. What happened tonight? Imam Hussain, it's the middle of the war. What are you doing? Reading Quran all night. What are you doing? Praying all night. It is the affair of his heart. Brothers and sisters, the fifth sign for love is love. The lover loves those who love his beloved and those who are loved by his beloved. Once you get into a marriage, you see this, all of a sudden, your father-in-law, your mother-in-law is like your own mother. Right? That connection is built. You love who she loves. Her friends become your friends. Her sisters and brothers become your sisters and brothers. Why? You start loving whoever she loves. You start loving whoever he loves. That is why yesterday I mentioned it is impossible for one to have hope of Allah, love of Allah, without that wilayah established in his life. Because those who are close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are the Ahlul Bayt. And if you love Allah, you love the Ahlul Bayt. If you love Allah, you love your wife, because your wife loves Allah too. If you love Allah, you love your children, because they love Allah too. At the same time, you are supposed to hate, and I mean hate, the enemies of Allah. Oh brother, didn't you say this is how Islam had a deen and al-hub? Is Islam anything but love? We have a narration that says had a deen and al-hub. Is Islam anything but love? So what happened to hatred? Why are you hating on people? Brothers, sisters, those who insult your beloved, you're telling me to love those who insult your beloved? Hate those, not those ordinary naive people who don't know what they're doing. No, those who are proactively working to destroy the system of Mahdawiyah. Those who are proactively looking to kill the Imam of your time. Hate those people. Tawalla, tabarra. Tawalla comes from wilaya. Tabarra comes from bara'a. Having hate is essential. It's wajib in this religion. To have hate for those enemies of God, for those who insulted your beloved.
Imam Khomeini rahmatullah alayh, someone by the name of Salman Rushdie, I'm sure you have all heard of him, wrote a book insulting the Prophet of Islam. And you saw how much Imam Khomeini loved the Prophet, how close he was to the Prophet. He ordered his death. That is what you get for insulting our beloved. You're someone who has researched, who has written a book, and you come to the conclusion that the Prophet was a bad person. You come to the conclusion that the Prophet was an immoral, indecent person. I don't even want to mention what was written in that book because I haven't read it. And from what I've read, from what I've heard from people who have read that book, it is disgusting how he talks about the Prophet. And you expect me to stay calm about this? To stay academic about this? It's the affair of my heart. And my iPad's about to die too. Please just have a last about. We'll be saying Diyar Ashura. Inshallah, brothers and sisters, we'll read Diyar Ashura tomorrow. We'll read Diyar Ashura. It's recommended to read it every day. Ayatollah Baghdad used to read it every day. What is said in Diyar Ashura? Inni Salmun liman salakum. I am at peace with those who are at peace with you. Inni harbun liman harabakum. I am at war with the people who are at war with you. Sixth sign of love, sixth characteristic of love. One is pleased with whatever the beloved gives to him. My beloved gave me all of brothers and sisters, this reading will do today. Apparently, you have to spend 3 months of Islam and engage him for the minimum. No. In Islam, that's not a concept. I'm satisfied with whatever the beloved gives me. He gives me $15 ring, he gives me $100 ring, he gives me $1,000 ring. I don't care. It's my beloved. The best gift that he can give me is his love. Similarly, with Allah, we don't complain. Allah, I have so much hardship in my life. I have so much. What does Imam Hani say? وَلَئِنْ سَيَّرْتَنِي لِلْعُقُوبَاتِ مَعَ أَعْدَائِكَ. If you place me with your enemies, and you make me separate from your awliya, I will still love you. وَإِذْ أَدْخَلْتَنِ النَّارِ أَعْلَمْتُ أَعْلَمَ أَنِّي أُحِبُّكَ. Imam Ali said in Munajat Sha'baniyah, if you place me in the hellfire, God, if you think I'm that low that you're going to place me in the hellfire, I will teach the inhabitants of the hellfire how much I love you. That is love. Of course, Allah won't do that now to Imam Ali. Allah won't do that to any of us. He's so merciful, He's so kind. But remember, that is the extent of our love that we should have. Now whatever He gives me, it's for my own good. I know He loves me. That's why He created me. So I trust Him when He's sending me hardship. I say, Allah, if this is making me closer to you, then so be it. And you notice this, how every time you're in hardship, you difficulty, you go to Allah. Get closer to Him. Brothers and sisters, Imam Hussain sacrificed his whole family. At the end, he said, I'm satisfied with Him. On the day of Ashura, some say that when Imam Hussain was martyred, there was a voice that called from the sky, Ya ayyatuha nafsul mutma'inna. Oh, the content soul. Oh, he who is satisfied. Right? 7th and 8th sign of love. Are 2 more signs. Please bear with me. 7th sign of love. 1 attempts to impress his beloved. But I'm in love. I want to get married. All of a sudden, I'm buying an expensive car. Why? I want to impress my beloved. He drives with his Tesla past the house of his beloved, just hoping she looks out of the window. Hoping she gets one glance. All of a sudden, I start buying luxury products. Ooh, I want to show her who I am. Brothers and sisters, before my laptop dies, let me open my speech on my phone. Please recite Allah sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. generous. All of a sudden, when it comes to giving homes and zakat, oh, I don't mind if it's $1,000, I don't mind if it's $800, I don't mind if it's $5. I won't complain, I'm giving it from my own love. All of a sudden, you see him start giving charity so often. You see him become generous. You see him start giving to the poor. That's why they say Islam is a religion that can solve all the world's problems just with this love of God. Because now all of a sudden we're giving charity. Brothers and sisters, there's a story from the life of our Imam. One day, Imam Hussain and Imam Hussain fell sick, right? And then our mother, Lady Fatima al-Zahra, she prayed for them. She did another. I said, I'll do 3 fasts. If they get better, right? And then they got better. And then she had to do 3 fasts. The first night she was doing the fast, a poor person came and asked for money. She gave them the food. Second night someone came, she gave them food. Third night someone came, they didn't have food, she gave them the clothing that they had. And they slept hungry all 3 nights. After that, Allah revealed an ayah for them, for the Ahlul Bayt, for Imam Ali, for Lady Fatima. وَيُطْعِمُونَ الطَّعَامَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ مِسْكِينًا وَيَتِيمًا وَأَسِيرًا إِنَّمَا نُطْعِمُكُمْ لِوَجْهِ اللَّهِ لَا نُرِيدُ مِنكُمْ جَزَاءً وَلَا شُكُورًا. They were in so much love with Allah that they didn't even feel that hunger. What did they do? For His love, they gave that food to a needy person, to an orphan, and to that prisoner. And then Allah said, we fed them for the sake of Allah, and we desired no reward except for Him. That was true love, where they were satisfied with whatever Allah had given them. They wouldn't complain, and they would always attempt to impress God, to attempt to impress the beloved. In figurative love, that's equivalent to the beloved. Alright, last sign of love. And I want you guys to listen. The rest of the signs of love were there. They were good. They were excellent. They were great. This last sign of love shows you if you are truly in love. Death. And as I said at the beginning, death is the affair of the heart. If I am really in love, I am willing to die for my beloved. Someone comes, God forbid, to insult my beloved. And watch, I will be there to defend my beloved. I will be in the battlefield. Someone comes and hurts her. I am there with my sword. I am there to fight off anyone who's there to hurt my beloved. Similarly, brothers and sisters, we are entitled to death. We're all going to die. Whether we die satisfied with Allah or whether we don't. Brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Holy Quran says, قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ هَادُوا إِنْ زَعَمْتُكُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ لِلَّهِ مِنْ دُونِ النَّاسِ فَتَمَنَّهُ الْمَوْتَ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. If you claim to be truthful, all those Jews, talking to the Jews and the Christians, if you claim to be truthful, if you think you love God, wish for death. And see what happens. Wish for death. What type of death, brothers and sisters? This is not death because I'm disappointed in God, or I'm sad, or I want to die. No, this is a death of a meeting between a beloved, a lover, and his beloved. Imam Hussain, don't you think he knew he was going to die on the plain of Karbala? Wish for that death. Brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent an angel to get Prophet Ibrahim. He said, Prophet Ibrahim, it's time for you to die. Come with me. Prophet Ibrahim was like, have you ever seen a friend take a soul, kill another friend? Ibrahim was Khalilullah, friend of God. And then the angel of death confused. He went to Allah and said, this is what Ibrahim said. Allah said, have you not wanting to meet his friend. Death is a means of meeting God, brothers and sisters. Don't be scared of it. In fact, you should look forward to it sometimes. It's a means of meeting your beloved. I'm willing to die for her. I'm willing to die for him. He's so close to me. I love him so much. Brothers and sisters, I am desperate to meet him. The Imam of the time is in Ghaiba. I am desperate to meet him. I am so much in love with him. I want to meet him. Ya Sayyidi, where are you? That's the look at the day. I'll cry for him. Right? I am so desperate to meet him. That desperation of meeting one with Allah. Brothers and sisters, one story from the life of Imam Ali, then we'll go to Muslim. Real quick, alright? Imam Ali alayhi salam was in the battle of Uhud, and he was a little upset after the battle. He was like, why didn't I get martyred in the battle of Uhud? Rasulullah was like, Ya Ali, don't worry, time will come soon when your beard will be drenched in blood. What do you think about this? You know what Imam Ali replied? His reply was so beautiful. Ya Rasulullah, ليس هذا من مواتل الساب, هذا من مواتل البشرى والشكر. Imam Ali was asked, what do you think about this moment of death that you're going to face soon? Ya Rasulullah, this is not a moment of having sabr, of patience. No, this is a moment of joyfulness and thanks to God. The news of his martyrdom, that's what it was. And Imam Ali didn't disappoint the Holy Prophet. So just a few years later, in 48, he said, by the Lord of the Kaaba, I'm successful. Brothers and sisters, Qasim al-Hasan, on the night of Ashura, what did he say? Death to me is sweeter than honey. Why? I'm meeting my beloved. Stop that, Father. Why was Ali Akbar so eager to go on the field? Why was Qasim so eager to go on the field? Why was Abdullah so eager to go on the field? Because he was eager to be his beloved. He was eager to fall in love. He was eager to have that closer connection to his beloved. Brothers and sisters, Imam Ali alayhi salam was on the way back from the battle of Siffin, and he passed Karbala, and he started crying and saying, I am on the land where the site of the martyrs of love will be. The martyrdom of love will be. A type of martyrdom that no one before has witnessed, and a type of martyrdom that no one after will. And brothers and sisters, he did not disappoint. That martyrdom that we saw on the plains of Karbala was like none other. That a father was ready to sacrifice everything he had, even his children, for the sake of God, for his love. Let's take our hearts to that Father. Let's turn the compasses of our hearts to Karbala. Today is Thursday night, brothers and sisters. Sallallahu alayka. Brothers and sisters, they say Hussain was giving his final salam. He heard a baby cry. He said, Ya Zainab, bring my son to me. He took him to the battlefield. He raised his son, a 6-month-old infant. Is there anyone who can give him some water? I've done wrong, I may have done wrong, but he did a sin. fish outside the water and how the fish is moving its tail, wiggling for some water. Some say that's how Ali and Asghar's tongue was moving. All of a sudden, the Mal'oon Umar bin Saad told Karbala, but the Sultan Hussain killed the boys of Hussain. Karbala took a three-pronged arrow that is used to kill cattle. He took the arrow, he started shooting it, it landed on the neck of Ali and Asghar. Hussain heard a thud. And all of a sudden he looked down to see Ali and Asghar throat slaughtered from ear to ear. Brothers and sisters, after that Hussain ran to the flames of Karbala, fighting so bravely for the sake of Allah. In himself witnesses Jesus and narrates and says, he you dropped yourself away from your children and family, they surrounded you, and they started galloping towards the canyons, and you fell from your horse. When you fell from your horse, the hooves of the horse trampled your body. The horse went back to the family. As soon as the women saw the horse without Hussain sitting on top of it, they heard Buka and Shadida. They heard loud wailing and crying. The women started crying. Sakina came to the horse. Where's my Baba? Where's my father? Zainab went to the Zainabiyya. Imam Sahib al-Zaman then narrated. وجلس شمه في صدر الحسين. Shmuel sat on the chest of Hussain. And he quenched the thirst of his sword with the blood of Hussain. Some said the dagger was so blunt. Some say that the dagger was so blunt that it took a while and Hussain wasn't hurt. Bismillah wa billah wa fi sabilillah wa ala millati Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.